Hi, everybody. This is Thomas from Therion, and you are listening to the Dan Chan Show.
So I've got Thomas from Therion with me. Thanks for joining me on the show. So how are you doing now? We're both in Spain. What's the weather like? You must only be like 400 kilometers south from me.
Yeah. Hi. It's great to be here with you. Thanks for having me. I'm sitting in Elche now, and you are in Barcelona, if I'm not wrong, right?
That's right. That's correct. Yeah. The weather's a bit windy today, but the sun's strong still. The sun is still strong.
Yeah, it is. I made this big fuck up. Can I say that? Today, you know, when my girlfriend is not home, I'm smoking in the balcony, you know.
Oh.
and she came home. Did you smoke? No, I didn't.
Oh,
and all the buds have been flying around in the balcony because of the wind, you know.
I just told everyone you've been smoking. There's no secret now, Thomas.
No, exactly. Now I'm caught.
Well, I'll get into your voice thing later. I want to talk about your voice, but for now, you know, you're talking about your final album of the Leviathan trilogy, which is out on the 15th of December. What a journey this has been for you. Are you glad to be getting this, you know, final epic piece released?
Yeah, I'm very happy for it. I'm very proud of what we accomplished with this, because it all started in a very strange way, because this was not the plan from the beginning to make 3 records like this.
Was it COVID? Did that make you sort of like writing heavily? This
is the only good thing that came out of COVID, I think.
Oh, yeah.
We should start to record an album. Me and Christopher asked me if I wanted to write with him for an album. Sure. So when we were about to start, the COVID hit, and you know, here in Spain, the lockdown was total.
Yeah.
And he lives in Malta, and it was the same there. So we couldn't go to each other. So we have to do it the cyber way, so to speak, which works fine today. It's very simple. So I asked Christopher, okay, we have time now. We are where we are, and what direction do you want to go? It has to be good, he said. Okay, that's pretty vague, you know, but okay. So we started to write and toss ideas forward and back, and all of a sudden we had so many songs that it was too much for an album, too much for 2. So he came up with the brilliant idea: let's not make 1 album, let's make them 3.
Wow.
And call them Leviathan 1, 2, and 3. And I thought, yeah, why not? You know, and release them in a short time span after each other.
Mm-hmm. So, go on, carry on. Sorry, come on.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
That's right.
You know, when I'm started, you can't say.
Oh, good. No, it's good. Please talk. It's your platform. Go.
Yeah, and you know, when you have such a diverse material, it's we spoke about it, and it's so different kind of songs. So we said that let's put the more commercial pieces in the first one, the little darker pieces in the second one, and in the third one we can put where we go bananas, where it's more experimental and progressive.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, I mean, so let's get it straight, just so in my head, because the whole trilogy, obviously, you know, you've done a trilogy before, didn't you? You've done like a 3-album. Did you do a 3-album thing before with what was the last
with the Beloved Antichrist?
Yeah, wasn't that like a hell of a long? Was that a double album?
That was a triple one, but that one is kind of different because that has a storyline.
Yeah, it's a concept.
And it's something that we talked about putting it up on a theater someday.
Yeah,
when it's going to happen, I don't know, but
that'd be
that's
awesome.
an idea.
So okay, so you wrote all these tracks, and you thought instead of making like a triple gatefold album, making a big thing, release them, you know, gradually like a trilogy of a film, really.
Yeah, exactly, more like that. Yeah.
So all the tracks were they all recorded? Were they written all in one go? But were they recorded in one go, or did you record them like gradually?
We made all the songs. We demoed all the songs. The same session, so to speak.
Yeah.
In the same time period, with some exceptions. You know, the new single "Ruler of Tamag" that is out right now.
Yeah.
I wrote, but I wasn't thinking about Therion. I was thinking about sending that to Tarja.
Really?
Yeah. But I was thinking, I send it to Christopher first and see if he likes it, and because Therion comes first, you know. And he was like, no, don't give that away. Let's Therionize it and use that, you know. All right. But the rest of the songs are written in the same era, so to speak, the same time span.
Yeah.
And then we didn't record it at the same time, but we used the exact same people to mix and to engineer it,
To keep the same kind of sound going.
Exactly. And in the same way, away from each other this time.
Was there any reason for that? Is it because it might be just too much to record that many tracks in one hit?
Pardon me, you got cut away.
So is it because you did that, you wanted to record it separately because you didn't want to record too many tracks in one sitting, so it's one session?
No, not at all. I mean, the first one we did was because we couldn't travel.
Right, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. But it turned out we were so pleased with the result, so we kept it the same way,
So
I recorded my vocals here in Spain.
Yeah.
And the solo guitars is recorded in Argentina.
Uh-huh.
The big choirs, some of the choirs are recorded here with me and some friends.
Yeah.
But most of the choirs are recorded in Israel, So
Wow.
I think we recorded in 8 different countries.
Incredible.
All in all. Yeah.
Incredible. So what themes are running through the trilogy? It's not a concept album. Like some people would think that you're releasing a trilogy, it's going to have some running themes. So what themes are we talking about on each album, 1, 2, and 3? Are they very different?
I mean, they're not lyric wise, there is no story, nothing like that. The only thing it has in common is the name on the album, but it doesn't mean any. I mean, we could have called this the COVID sessions, but it sounds much cooler with Leviathan, I think.
Yeah, of course.
It was Christopher's idea, and I like it.
Yeah.
But no, there is really no connection except that we wrote them in the same time span, and we use a lyricist that are not in the band. He's like the sixth member of the band, but he's not on stage with us or in the record.
Of course. Yeah.
He's a poet, and I mean, I couldn't write these kind of lyrics that he can write, because you need that knowledge about, my texts that I'm writing are like funny little stories, not so deep as this, So I think it's a good idea to give it to somebody that knows the shit,
Absolutely. Now, with you, recording a little bit different on this album, do you think you're going to keep that theme of trying to do things more remotely, or do you think the next sort of like session after Leviathan 3, you'll start like getting together more and doing things more organically, shall we say?
I would think so. You never know. I mean, in the end, it's Christopher has the last word since he created the band. I think that's the way how it should be.
Yeah.
But I think that we will get together, not everybody at once, but at least that you put the drums together, with Christopher, and you put the bass and the guitars, and then the singers come in and we do it with him, so to speak. So you can have that. So you can have that. How can I say? You can toss ideas around much easier.
Yeah, I understand.
Ideas that comes up in the moment.
Yeah.
There are ups and downs with this system to record apart from each other. The good thing is that I don't have to ask for permission.
There's
it becomes what it becomes, But sometimes this tossing ideas forward and back can be very good.
Of course. Now, obviously, writing all those tracks, so far, long ago. What was it? 2019, 2020. Now in 2023, have you had tracks on these albums that you just can't wait for the fans to hear? You must have been like, "Oh my god, this is going to be so good for them to hear," but it's such a long time away. Does it create frustration?
It is. It can be, But in the same time, I've heard this album so much now because I have it digitally in the computer since like forever. So for me, it's not a new album anymore,
No, of course.
But it's I can't wait to see the reactions for it, And so far with number 1 and number 2, it has been more or less positive all the time. There are always some people, the diehard fans that started to listen to Therion in 90 something. And wanted to sound exactly like that, but that's not where we are now. And we're not trying to recreate the past. We write and it becomes what it becomes.
Well, that's interesting. I've got 2 things I want to mention here. The first thing is, do you go looking for sort of like reviews or the first couple of tracks of the Leviathan 3 are out? Do you go looking for like maybe YouTube comments, or do you try and avoid those kind of things?
Sometimes I mean. I think the people that I call the haters, I don't think that they realize that the artists actually read sometimes.
Yeah, I believe that.
And we're humans, and sometimes it hurts,
Yeah.
It hurts really much. So I'm trying to not, but sometimes I can't hold myself,
Yeah. I mean,
sometimes I want to comment back, but I don't do that.
Okay, yeah, that must be difficult. It's like, no, I mustn't. No, I'm not going.
Oh, that
and your keys start
very unprofessional.
Your fingers start hovering over the keyboard. And you're like, no.
Yeah. And I remember
when
I had my daughter in the band for a while.
Yeah,
she was performing live with us for a couple of years,
mm-hmm.
And if they write about something bad about me, do that.
Of course, family.
But it took very hard when they write something bad or negatively about your family,
Of course. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the worst thing. Now, the other thing I was going to say to you was, how do you think you've evolved? I mean, I'm going to get into the fact that you're a bit of historics with you, but how do you think the Leviathan Therion have evolved over, since 2009 when you joined?
A couple of kilos.
Hope of weight.
I don't know. It has evolved I think if I should find a cliche, like a wine, it gets better with age. I think. No, but I think especially these sessions that we have had, me and Christopher, on these records, has tightened up our partnership very, very much.
Yeah.
Both on a personal level and on a working level, because we are really not same personalities at all. He's much more pragmatic than me, much more pragmatic than me. I'm more of like a joker, and I forgot that there,
Yeah. He looks he looks serious, Christopher. He looks a serious guy. He looks like a maestro,
Yeah, exactly. And that's little how he is. He can be very funny sometimes, but we have the same ground values, of course. But I think that we feed from each other. I need some things that he has, and he needs some things that I have.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
So that is something that has evolved enormously just the 3 last years.
Yeah, I get it. So,
but
carry on, please.
The fun thing with Therion nowadays, that has developed more and more since I started, is that there are really no boundaries for what we can write. There are no rules, so to speak.
I can see that,
and that's great for me.
Yeah.
And that started probably when Christopher wanted to do this French album that we did. We did an album, a cover album actually in French. And he told me that idea when we were on tour in the bus. And I thought it was a gas leak in the bus, and he started to
hallucinating.
Yeah. And I said to him, that might be a commercial suicide, I told him.
Yeah.
And he told me, you know what, I don't care. I want to do it. And in perspective, I respect that answer so much,
Yeah, of course. Now, I'm going to go back to history, like I said I would. You joined the band in 2009, I believe. How was it joining the outfit? Were you aware much of the band before, and how did the gig happen for you?
Oh, yeah, I can tell you that. But it was 2007, though.
So, 2007, yeah.
Yeah. It was I got a phone call in my house. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, of course, yeah.
It looked like it breaks away. Okay. Now I got a phone call, and I answered, and it was a guy presented himself as Christopher Johnson. And he had a band called Therion, and their singer, who by that time was Mats Leven, a friend of mine, quit the band. He didn't want to continue. And he told me, we have a world tour coming up. Are you interested in doing that? And I was like, well, because by that time I haven't heard Therion. I heard about them, but I never listened to them. So I told him, well, that sounds very, very cool, but I got to hear you guys first to see if I can do something with it,
Yeah, of course.
And the next day I had the whole catalog in the express mail, And I went home and put on the first CD that was the Gothic Kabbalah one. I remember this. And I think I listened to half a song before I called him back. I mean,
Really?
So when am I doing the first gig? I told him, well, that's going to be in Wacken.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Oh, thank you. What a great warm up.
What a great start. Just ease me in gently.
Yeah. And I had to learn all the songs were pretty easy to learn, but the lyrics, the lyrics were tough to memorize.
Yeah, I bet.
And I remember 1 or 2 days, if I'm not wrong, before the gig, Christopher called me, said, I forgot we are playing this song also.
Oh
my God.
So how long were the sets then? How long were you playing?
I think we played, I don't know, but it was not the regular set. It's shorter,
Yeah, for festival, yeah.
Yeah. Let's say we played 45.
Wow.
I'm not sure though. Yeah. But it went okay for being the first time, I was so nervous. My knees changed places with each other.
Oh, so how did that tour go after that?
Very good, very good, very good. After that, it was like once your virginity is gone, it's okay,
Yeah, sure.
It doesn't hurt anymore.
Sure. So can I talk about your musical theatre background? How did you get into that? I mean, you were in Candlemass in the very early years as well. And, you now settled in Therion. Tell me about your musical theatre. Because I believe you were in Miss Saigon. Is that right?
Yeah, I was in Miss Saigon. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen that. I've saw that in the West End, actually. It's one of the very few ones I've seen in the West End. Yeah. I
did the character of John, if you remember him.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So have you still got time for that, or is that completely on the back burner? Or you would never go back to the theatre? How is that?
I will if the time is right and it can fit my schedule. I love to do that. I really love it. But it actually started off like I grew up with a father that was an opera singer and a musical.
I was going to say that as well. I was going to say I was going to come into that very shortly, but carry on.
Yeah. So I thought I've had that thing in the back of my head, all the time, that maybe someday, but the Candlemass period come and I realized that I'm running out of money here,
Yeah.
And so I heard that they were searching for a guy at the folk opera in Stockholm, the lead part actually, in a Swedish opera musical called Barefoot Life. And so I put on my shoes and I went there and went in and I knocked on the door to the directors and stuff like that. Hi, my name is Thomas. I would like to make an audition for you. Did you schedule up a time? No, but I'm here now. Please let me sing, And they probably thought I was on drugs or something, But they let me sing. And it was, when I was done, it was total silence. I thought, okay, I screwed it up. Okay. So they say that, you want this part? Yeah, I do. You're in, they say.
Wow.
And I was, wow, what the fuck did I do? And I remember before the first time I was going to do that, because it's also acting involved, that I've done some acting, but not that much, I was so nervous that I was about to vomit, but 5 seconds after you enter the stage, it's gone. It's very strange.
Yeah. And were you in metal bands at the same time as doing the musical theatre? Was there a conflict there, or were you doing theatre and hoping that you'd get into metal? I mean, how did that work?
No, it was not a conflict at all by that time, because I have more or less nothing. I mean, I'm a little bit insecure about when this was, what year this was. And I don't remember if I yet was in Candlemass or about to go to Candlemass.
Right.
I will not swear. But I was between Candlemass and my old band Talk of the Town.
Yeah.
So I had nothing to do, really. That's how I remember it. So I was blessed to get that job. And directly after that, I got the main part in the same theater in an opera called Adventures of Hoffman, written by Jacques Offenbach. Yes, I read books.
Wow.
And then I think after that came Candlemass. So I did that for a while.
Right, I see. So it was in and out. It was ebbing and flowing between metal and theatre, rock and,
Yeah, so a bit of a luck there, that everything came after each other and before each other in between.
I could see you in Jesus Christ Superstar, something like that. That's very rock and roll.
Yeah, it would be fun to do that someday. Absolutely.
I could see you doing
musical of the musicals,
Yeah, of course, I could see that. Yeah.
And after that, I went on to do Miss Saigon, and we did that for 2 years. Almost.
Amazing. Did you tour that, or was that in Stockholm?
No, that we were in the same theater in Stockholm.
Right, I see. Now, can I talk about you? Sorry, you carry on, Thomas.
I'm putting up my CV here.
Yeah, good. Yeah, go, carry on.
Then I did the full Monty.
Did you? That's cool.
For half a year in Malmö, in the south of Sweden.
Did you have to get naked? Did you have to get naked, or were the hats in the right place?
Totally naked, but only for 2 seconds, But people knew that, and the journalist that was there in the premiere knew that. So, the next day after the premiere, of course, a guy let the motor go on the camera, and you opened up the biggest, like the Daily Mail or something like that, and the middle page was us, totally naked.
That's funny. That is funny.
It's what it is. It's not very much to say hooray about.
Now, can I go back to your father? He was a well-known opera singer, and I suppose you can say he passed down his genetics. How was it like growing up with him being who he was, and was it, that you always wanted to sing because of him? Obviously, there must be something in that.
I don't know. Music and artistry has been there as long as I can remember, And I was hanging with him in the opera, and I was sleeping in his dressing room sometimes,
Wow.
So for me, it was kind of natural. The reason I started with hard rock, there was no term like heavy metal back then, was because I wanted to rise up against my parents. I wanted to be independent,
rebellious.
Yeah, exactly. So I discovered Kiss. I saw a picture of Kiss. What's this? And then I heard the record Alive, and I was, well, this is what I want to do,
Yeah.
So I got the record and I showed my parents, look at this. And I wanted them to hate it, but they loved it.
Well, he's a musician. He's got to be, he's a creative, he was a creative mind, he's got to be able to be open to these things. So obviously he was.
Yeah, absolutely. He was very, very open, very open-minded.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing. You must have been proud to have him as a father, to look up to.
Absolutely. I mean, especially the more you grow, the more you understand that, The older you get.
Regarding your voice, how do you keep it in tip-top shape? Are there special things you have to do daily in the studio before a show? And did your dad teach you, the vocal exercises and those kind of things?
No, but he was kind of the punk rocker of the opera. He never...
Was he?
Never exercised.
Really? And are you the same?
Neither do I have to say.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You were smoking on the balcony today. So, is that something does that help you, or do you drink alcohol? Do you do the normal things that regular guys do, or are you a Puritan? How is it?
No, I'm doing everything that the smoking. I don't smoke so much, no, but now and then, and I take a beer or two on the weekend sometimes. Yeah. I live just normal, I mean, I don't recommend anybody to smoke, of course not, but I happen to do that. On the other hand, I don't take drugs or anything like that.
No.
I'm eating kind of good, except in the pandemic, only Burger King.
Yeah. That kind of thing. No. Well, that kind of like bad diet comes on the road, And I was going to ask you, what's happening tour wise with the follow up to the release?
Well, we are after the record is released in January, we go to Mexico to do a big show with full orchestra and full choir.
Nice.
Yeah, that's going to be great. And that's sort of like the kickoff of the tour. And then after that, we do Europe, and we're going to do China as well.
Wow. What's the best aspects of being on the road for you? What's the best things about it?
For me, it's apart from the live gigs that are like the berry on the top of the cake.
Really? Yeah.
For me, I love to travel. I love to enter an airport.
Me too.
I could be on the road forever, more or less. I really love it.
Yeah.
So I like everything about it. The new places you see, okay, now we go to a lot of the same places, but some places are new, and just to be able to be in another culture for a while is fantastic.
Especially Mexico. I mean, you starting in Mexico is such a big gig that is for you. I mean, that's like, there's so many bands that go to Mexico and South America. They just love it, don't they?
Yeah, and I can't explain why. You know, when we come to Mexico, I mean, there is fans on the airport screaming. It's like Beatlemania. I don't know.
Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah, and I don't know why they like us so much over there. You know, maybe we look exotic or funny. I don't know.
European, you see, European.
Maybe that, yeah.
Definitely is an influence there.
You know, that's why it's so strange when you come home to your sofa and watch MasterChef, you know.
All of a sudden you're on your balcony having a fag, you know what I mean? It's like, what's going on?
Exactly, yeah.
I was just being lauded at an airport.
In my underwear, you know.
Yeah. So you've achieved so much, you've done so much. I know we're running out of time, you know, but what's still on your musical bucket list? You know, what do you still want to achieve from your career? Or do you think you've peaked? Where are you? I
don't know if I peaked, you know, but I'm writing more and more songs and trying to be good in the studio with the sounds and stuff like that. I'm still a beginner, but that's something that is very warm around my heart right now.
Yeah.
But one thing, a dream I have that I want to do. I want to do the Phantom of the Opera.
Really?
Yeah, that I want to do.
Yeah.
If that happens, I am going to be very, very, very satisfied after.
So can I just ask, Stockholm, West End, or Broadway?
Well, I think I say West End.
West End, good. Keep it in Europe. Keep it in Europe. I love that, Thomas.
Yeah.
I love that. Now, and obviously, with that, you could do a film as well, do some kind of musical. Sorry, musical. You said, wasn't it, for Leviathan? Which would be. Was that what you said, or what did you say about the musical? Was it for Leviathan?
No, I meant the Beloved Antichrist one.
Oh, yeah, yes. That would be so cool.
We've spoken about that, and we're just going to try to find some time. So when it's going to happen, I don't know. But
that would be so cool. Now, finally, one daft question. What's the most used emoji in your phone, Thomas?
The eggplant.
Of course.
I'm kidding you. No, it's probably the laughing smiley.
I love it. Listen, Thomas, thank you so much for joining me on the show tonight. It's very much appreciated. Good luck with everything in the future for yourself.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.